because of the secrecy of what we were trying to accomplish today. We sure appreciate all of you who were able to be here and keep it a secret. You should have seen the look on Rob and Jenna's faces when they walked in and took a look around the room and saw the pictures and saw the food and saw the people that were here. I nearly thought we were going to have to call somebody, but they recovered nicely. And we wanted to let you know that this is a small way of showing our appreciation for you and Jenna and all that you have done over the years. From the time that you started youth football with your boys all the way through elementary, junior high, high school, and college. Remembering that at the middle of November this past year when Matt played at Carleton, it was the end of an era. It was the last live boy to play. And we could not let that go by without some kind of recognition for all that you and Jana have done over the years. And to help us put the name Bye into a bigger perspective and a little bit more of an understanding of what it means, Mark Degernes has agreed to help us out.
Well, anybody who regularly attends MAA knows how much Rob has influenced and mentored young boys and coaches and continues to offer his services to any coach who will accept him. And we know this because he continues to tell us. But because Rob is so humble and does not seek the spotlight, there are some things that you may not know about the name Bye, which has entered into our culture and our music literature. So I just have a couple of things here. For example, Bye, the light of the silvery moon. In the sweet by and by. Bye bye blackbird. And when your football team or your team has a really good season, you get a first round bye, right? So I mean, these are things that Rob would point out because he's so humble. And there's also a well-known musical called Bye Bye Birdie. Now, I borrowed a tune from that musical and taken some liberties with the lyric to put a little tribute to Rob Bye here. And Jana, I know you're what makes it what it is. Oh, or maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, well, here's you. We love you, Rob. Oh, yes, we do. As long as you are here, we will be too. So please don't leave us, or we'll be blue. Yes, Rob, we love you.
Rob and Jenna have also been involved in more than youth football and youth activities. They have been greatly involved in whatever the city of Moorhead does. And we have been so pleased to welcome Jonathan Judd. His Honor, the Mayor.
Well, you got like an honor thing going on. I'm not big into formalities. Thank you everyone for being here today. It is an honor and a tribute to speak on behalf of Rob and Jenna. When I came back and moved back to the region permanently back in 2002, one of the passions that I wanted to be involved in was coaching football. Why? Because of people like Rob. Coaching, or having good coaches, quality people to teach me how to be a good person and wife is what got me here today. So when I met Rob, we had a mutual friend, Kevin Allen, who introduced me to Rob and Jenna, and really, that really personifies Moorhead, what you both have done. Because not only have you raised a fine family of children, your contributions to the community by really selfless volunteerism to influence the minds of youth. And I watched you do that for a number of years by your actions, your words. And there are a lot of kids in this community that are better because of your involvement in having you have touched their lives. And Jana, for the selflessness that you've done, you have also provided in raising a family and being involved. I know that we currently now are serving on the board of Spuds TV. I mean, you can't think of a family that has given you out the years. I mean, dedication to our community, to our students, and to family. We are blessed to truly have both of you here for what you have done. To be our city and our community and our children better. So thank you, and you deserve all of this today. Thank you.
And we would like to welcome you now to our superintendent of schools, Brandon Lumen.
How do you follow up the mayor after that? But if we had, Rob and Jen, if we talk about what makes Moorhead great, and we had a Mount Rushmore of Moorhead, you would definitely be on it. And I mean that sincerely. When I first came to Moorhead back in 2014, this was the first group that I really got involved with, and I remember coming here for the first time. Kevin was speaking, I think it was a couple days before school had started, and I remember just how welcoming you were to me, even let me sit at your table, and I feel pretty good about that. That hasn't really changed much over the course of the next 5 years, so hopefully I continue to earn a spot at your table. And keep bringing your dad. I know I always got to bring the better limit to the events, but and Melissa won't come, so you're stuck with my dad. So anyway, Rob has been a very important part of Larry mentioned the Moorhead Legacy Foundation. When that thing got off the ground, Rob has been with us to start that project from the infancy stages to where we are today, and there have been board members that have come and gone for various reasons, but the one constant that you can always count on at those board meetings is Rob By. And the other thing that not many of you know is that Rob was very willing and very eager to serve on our high school facilities task force, and Rob was also very instrumental in a good way. On our way back from Bismarck, when we had our field trip out there to tour some facilities, Rob made sure he sat next to me on the bus and got in my ear and wouldn't get out of my ear until I said, okay. And his comment was, Brandon, I saw that career academy out in Bismarck, and we need one here in Moorhead. Why can't Moorhead kids in the Moorhead community experience that? You know, he kind of was listening and intaking what he was saying, and Rob's pretty big on visual cues, and he knew that I wasn't really biting. And then he finally looked at me and he said, we will get that in Moorhead. And that's when I knew, okay. So then I turned it back over to Rob and I said, Rob, then you've got to throw that softball out there at the next facilities task force, and I'll be darned if he didn't do it. And he didn't sell it. And there were 31 people that voted that night with a dot. Rob was one of the 31. I'm sorry, there were 31 people voted. I didn't vote. And Rob influenced 31 people to vote yes for the Career Academy, which I don't think is an accident when it comes back to helping us pass this bond in November. So anyway, back to my end game here. Larry asked me to speak, and the one thing I've always been impressed with what you and Jana do is that your kids have long graduated Moorhead High, but yet you continue to attend football games, you continue to attend basketball games, and when you're talking about community members, even when their kids have come and gone, you still are a constant at our events in terms of supporting what we do. And for that, our community and our school districts say thank you.
And a big part of this whole thing is the contribution that the hockey program has made. One of the longtime success parts of the hockey program is Dave Morinville. He's here today, and we'd like to hear just a couple of words. Now, keeping in mind what I said, just a couple of words.
Well, people don't know this, but I've known Rob since called me to come here and say a couple words about Rob. I was excited to do it. I thought this was a roast. That's what I came, and now it's not.
Be gentle.
It's going to be a good thing here. But, no, Rob's been, what was interesting is you see Rob grow up and then I leave. And then when I came back here, my first, we bought a house on 37th Avenue when we got back here. And I was going to go and work with the Calvary Flames and my wife was going to stay back in town. And next thing you know, this job came up, so I started working here. And then the following year, Don called me about coaching here at Warren High and stayed and coached. And Rob was just a great guy to work with here, getting athletes around. And for him to come to all the hockey games with your sons, doing all the things that they do, you and Jan, following all those events and coming here and going to our hockey games, I can't say enough because it takes a lot to get all these coaches together and working with their schedules and stuff like that. And you've been great that way, and I can't say enough good things for you. Larry told me to keep it short, and I will keep it short. And I just want to say thanks for being a friend and being a good help in this whole thing. Appreciate that. Thanks, Rob.
We have heard from a couple of longtime members of Moorhead Athletics and Moorhead Athletic Association. A couple of newcomers have made their way in over the last several years. It involves high school basketball, it involves football. And we would like to ask Kevin Feeney and Tyler Gorman, maybe if you could both come up and have just a couple of words to say, and there will be no fighting over the microphone. And we expect to have nothing but glowing remarks from the both of you if you would come up and have your remarks about this. And we welcome Tyler Gorman and Kevin Feeney.
No, but Rob and Jan, a big thank you. And when Larry kind of mentioned that this was going to happen, I wanted to make sure we could get over here and really say thank you for everything you do. And everybody has already kind of touched upon. But one of the first people that I met when I first came here to Moorhead in 2010, and actually one of the first events I ever came was at the Moorhead Country Club. Don Hubbard says, hey, we do this luncheon thing. You got to come check this out. And I'll never forget meeting everybody. And obviously this group is a special group. But obviously, you know, the leadership is what comes first and foremost in my mind. You know, I remember calling my dad right when I left MAA, and I said, hey, the craziest thing, I went to this luncheon, it's this old school community thing going on, and he was like, that's something really special, and hang on to that as long as you can. And obviously, as I've gotten to know Rob and Jenna, and having two of the boys play for us in the football program was outstanding. But like what the mayor said, I think the biggest sign of contribution to the community, and really what this community is all about, is the sustainability that these people have in the investment that they've truly made into this community. They helped us start our Unity Council within our football program, and the big thing there is exactly what Rob and Jen have been a part of, is making it a special experience for everybody that's involved in this community. And certainly we're talking about the football program at the Unity Council, but really it boils over to everything that these people do is for others. And I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing that we can all learn from Rob and Jana is what they do for others in our community, and especially our children and the future of our kids here at Moorhead High School. So thank you.
So I agree with Coach Warrenville. I actually have notes because I've never roasted someone before, and I thought it was the same. And this is more than I usually write, isn't it, Rob? Yeah. So this was a topic I was ready for. I can barely read, so good luck. No, I'm honored to be able to speak about the impact that you've had in the short time I've been here. When I got here to Moorhead High, I knew that this was a community that was very proud of its athletics, its activities, its arts, its academics, and Rob wears that on his sleeve. You know, Rob and Jana are oftentimes in the stands behind our bench. You know, as Coach Warrenville mentioned, you've had boys go through our program, but are no longer in our program, and for you to continue to attend the events like you do, it is impressive and also much appreciated. So thank you. Our first year, we struggled, and it was a grind in some ways, just because there was change, and we had a lot of fresh faces, new faces on our staff and in our program. I remember being up here kind of talking about how we were stressing with our kids that your character during the drought is what they remember in the harvest. And you guys were extremely positive with myself, with our program, with our kids, with our players. There wasn't a time I passed Rob where he didn't, have a smile on his face and say, hey, you guys are doing a great job, just keep working with them. And that was much appreciated because on those long bus trips on the way back, if we kind of had a tough outing, at times as coaches, you just start to kind of doubt what you're doing a little bit. And you guys never did, and I really appreciate that. And our players feel that too, and that's really for everyone in the room. But as Coach Feeney, mentioned, that's also a leadership trait of yours that I think people gravitate towards your positivity, your influence, not only on this group, but also on Moorhead High and just Moorhead activities and athletics in general. And that's something that I just really appreciated. And to be honest with you, it's something that for me was really exciting to see in a similar fashion to Coach Feeney when he got here, to say this is a great place to be, it's a great place to live, it's a great place to raise our family, and as a coach, it's a really, really good place to be. So thank you for your positive energy. I wish I would have had a chance to coach your sons, to be honest with you. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to, but I genuinely appreciate your contributions to our programs prior to myself and our staff being here. So thank you very much.
We had a chance to extend this invitation to different people around the communities and the schools. And I know, Larry, I haven't had a chance to actually ask you firsthand, but I would like to bring you up forward as the not retired. Well, maybe he should be.
Old.
No. There's the roast. But Larry Paffelfuss, who has served as athletic director at Concordia Knowledge Development, and we just have a couple of words there as to how the Carver family has embraced the Bye family.
Thanks, Larry. It's actually an honor, Rob. The people in this room understand it. A lot of people outside this room maybe don't understand the passion that athletics brings to our lives and what that teaches us. When I was athletic director at a very academic institution, I would spend a lot of time explaining to faculty that we teach the same kinds of lessons in athletics that we're trying to teach in the classroom. And I would get calls as athletic director from employers, who are some of your best athletes that you're graduating in, because I want to interview them for jobs. And when we picked at that a little bit, I'd ask them, so what is it about athletics that contributes to that? And they would tell me those lessons, right? How to work with purpose towards a goal. How to work with purpose as part of a team toward a goal with discipline. How to take your exams, not in the classroom, but on the field in front of a couple thousand people and deal with success and failure, right? Those were important lessons. And I hear that all the time from some of our successful alums about the character building side that all the coaches in this room understand. That it's, yes, we coach for wins and losses, but it's about more than the wins and losses. It's about developing young men and women into leaders. And Rob has been a big part of that. You can't ignore that we're all salespeople in this room for athletics, but we're also salespeople for those kinds of skills. We were blessed to have Rob as part of the Copper family. I think I even shared in this group that outstanding article about him being the most successful long snapper in Concordia College.
I have a copy.
But there's a reason why Terry Horan would invite him to address all of our young recruits prior to games, because they know that this person was one of those people that could influence the 30 votes to come, or to influence people to think that this is a great place to send your sons and daughters. And so we feel blessed to have had him as part of the Concordia family ourselves, but also recognize what he's brought to us as a graduate of the institution in terms of being an ambassador for Concordia. For that, we're ever grateful. Thanks.
Someone who has had as close a relationship with Rob and Jen as anybody in this room ended up having all three of their boys play at Concordia College. We'd like to welcome, please, head coach Terry Horan.
Well, thanks for everybody to be here, and thank you for these two. Like Larry said, I've been blessed to coach all of their boys, and I don't take that lightly. You got a guy. My first week on the job, I got a call from 3 guys. Those 3 guys, one was Rob By, Joe Goda, and Mike Solberg. All right, they wanted to take Coach Moran over to Speakeasy and have a little lunch. During that lunch, Rob was showing me his playbook of FM athletics and wanting to get my input and whatnot, and talking about his boys and this and that. And the years went by, and now I just finished my 19th year as the head football coach. And 12 of those 19 years, I've had a Bi-Boy in my program. And there was an incredible article written at Concordia, I think right before the holidays, that talked about this family, Rob, Jana, and the boys, and it was really amazing. And I'm honest when I say this, that I'm the luckiest guy alive to be able to have those 3 kids in my program, because they are just the staple of what a student athlete at our level should look like. And the student is most definitely first, and these kids are brilliantly bright. Matt's going to do great things as he finishes off his collegiate career in the classroom and wherever he decides to land. The other 2 boys are doing amazing things outside of Concordia. But those relationships are near and dear to me, and very strong, and it's maroon and gold through and through in this family. That's quite a commitment. It's quite a commitment from your family to send all 3 of your boys to Concordia College. That's how much Concordia means to you and your family, and I'm certainly glad I was a part of it. Each of them were special in their own ways, but I'll tell you this: these kids came to practice every single day and gave me everything they had. Never caused a problem. We're always in class. Again, it's that prototypical Division III, that student athlete. That's what you want. And I'm so thankful. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Not having another Bi-Boy, they better start having kids, and I better stay coaching, I guess. And got a couple of them married off. Maybe that'll start happening here soon. But on the other piece of it too, you know, they've been Catholic parents, and it takes a toll when you're an in-town family. A lot was on your plate. Rob has also been a big part of our recruiting process. I mean, this guy's been through the grind. He's been through Concordia, and he's had 3 boys. What a better person to have talk to your future, hopefully future college parents than him. And anytime we had a home game, we had game day visits. We bring in anywhere from 10 to 30 some recruits. And Rob would go into the end zone with me, and I would say my piece, and then I'd give him the floor, and away he went. He would talk about how important the education piece of it is, what you're going to be able to receive with that education as you leave. You talk about the experiences of what his kids have experienced through their time at Concordia, and families, and all the wonderful parents and kids that you get to meet within the program. He's the guy that I would always go to, and you know what? He was always there. Even this fall, when my son Tommy was moving into the dorms, and I called Rob up and I said, Rob, would you happen to have any kind of a remnant carpet, something that I can lay down on the inside of his dorms? Oh, heaven's sakes! Hey, I've done this for all my boys as kids. I've done it for my boys. Let's meet at the dorm. I'm going to get some measurements. And so I met him at his dorm room. He measured the whole, he was jotting things down and measured everything up. And within a couple of days, he says, you think we can get back in that dorm room? And I said, yeah. He goes, I got the remnant. I go, great. So I had a few guys come and help, and he had the measurements to a T, and he carpeted the whole dorm room. So they are certainly, and then he started talking about now they can find a vacuum down the hallway, and vacuum it up. But just him taking the time to come in and help me out in getting a dorm room ready for a young freshman just speaks volumes about the kind kind of person he is, and this wonderful, wonderful family that are dear friends of mine, and I love them to pieces. So appreciate everything you do here. I mean, this isn't easy setting this up each and every week and finding speakers to come in and talk, but I absolutely love it. I absolutely love talking about Concordia football. I love seeing all the familiar faces, and we want to keep this going strong, and you're the perfect person in charge, and we truly appreciate everything. So on behalf of Concordia College, our football program, and my staff, and all the players that you've been blessed to be around with your boys, well done. Well done. Thanks.
There's only one other person in this room that has had more involvement with Mr. and Mrs. Bai over the years, and your mother would never be more proud than to take the stand now, please, Marlene. Come on. Now, we've only got a limited amount of time, but please come on. I've got a little chore for you, so you know, it doesn't involve speaking, it doesn't involve anything like that, so we would like to have you come up, please. And while she makes her way up, we would like to have Rob and Jana please come up. We've been reminded that Rob has not only been active in things like the Legacy Foundation and the community at large, but some of the things that go basically unnoticed is his involvement in helping out people that need help. That involves bone marrow transplant. Yes, there are people alive today because of that. There are people alive today because of his involvement in scuba rescue. And what a great job that Rob has done over the years. And Jana, there's only one question I have for you. When you guys got met and were about to get married, you said yes. My question is why?
That's a great question. No, I think we're looking for an answer. We can't proceed without an answer.
You've seen the picture as we approached this afternoon. It was done and made possible by the work of Rick Westra. We have pictures of family at the top, and at the bottom, we've got the Bai boys as youth football players on the side and as college football players on this side, and in the middle, the reason we're here today. Would you please say thank you for all that they've done in the city of Moorhead and Concordia College and in the colleges of our community as well as the high school, Rob and Jana Bai.
You want me to talk, Larry? No. You want to stay up here? Thanks, Larry. Don't do this again. Thanks, everybody. You know, this Moorhead Athletic Association, I remember my dad coming here in the 70s and watching Goda and Ross Porgy and Jim Christopherson, and when you hear stories from guys about these coaches and kind of the back and forth, and I remember coming here with my dad one year after I think I must have graduated Concordia, and Ross was talking, and I thought, you know, I mean, we played MSU, we played the Dragons in football and acted as guys, but at Concordia, but you know, I didn't really know what was going on in the program. I mean, you know, we played them, so I knew them for a week, and then I didn't know. When Ross gets up and talks that fall, and honest to God, I thought, well, man, they were really good. They're a really good football team. And I'm listening to Ross thinking, what the heck? They must just have fallen off. They're just going to suck this year. I mean, what's going on? But Ross, that was him, you know, it was just like, yeah, I don't know, you know, be lucky to field a tight end, you know, and we're short at guard, and running game, I don't know, you know, just kind of that was what we got. And I'm like, holy smokes, they're going to be terrible this year. And of course they were great and all that kind of stuff. And then Jim and,
you know, so it was a special deal. My dad used to love coming here. I've enjoyed my time. Larry's dad, Phil Seldenwold, and Dwayne Telge, both were passed, roped me into this gig, and said it would be a one-year thing, and actually,
1 year at a time.
yeah, no, they didn't say it that way. There's some broken promises here, no question about it, that when they talked about it. But, you know, it's I love, you know, I played sports in Moorhead and Concordia. I wasn't great. I was barely good at a couple things. I was a good teammate, is what I probably really was. But I just got so much from those coaches we had, from position coaches. Coach Perry was at Concordia when I was there, coaching football, and I was with him for 4 years. And you know, these coaches gave so much for honestly kind of so little, you know, in a lot of ways. And but they just give so much to kids, and you know, our high school coaches and middle school coaches and administrators that way, athletic directors, and you know, I knew Don Howard pretty good, and Dean Hugo now, and of course Bill. Just the work that goes into this, and the care that goes into the kids, and the community and the programs, and how dedicated they are to that in their schools, and what a special place Moorhead is for that. And you know, when Phil got sick, I remember I was up to the house a couple days before he passed, and he was in bed, and he wasn't getting up, and but he wanted to see me, and I wanted to see him, and I went over and knelt by the bed, and you know, he just told me how important this was. And you know, getting together Friday for a social club may or may not be the most important thing in the world, but supporting kids at these schools, high school and college, and in our community, meant a lot to Phil Seldenwold. And Phil just said, just keep the thing going, because it's important. And it wasn't maybe so much about, it's important that we get together Friday and have a few laughs and listen to coaches, but it certainly was important to support kids and support the coaches that coach those kids, and the institutions that provide these sports for these kids. And I don't care what the activity is. Kids got to be involved. So Phil said, keep this thing going, and Dwayne Telge and I used to laugh that you know, Dwayne was told the same thing by Phil, and so Dwayne and I, when we were doing some of this stuff, I remember we were on the football stadium committee, both Moorhead High and Concordia, and we sat by each other at the Concordia first meeting of update to Jake, and Telge sits by me and he says, how the hell do you and I get roped into all this stuff? Every time somebody's got to raise a few bucks for something, you and I are sitting at the table, and we had a good laugh about that. Later, after Phil had passed, you know, Dwayne would say, well, Rob, we got to keep this thing going. You know, this MAA, it's important. We got to keep this thing going. And he said, you know, Phil asked us to do this basically on his deathbed, and asked us to keep this going. And he'd say, so we got that going for us, you know. And Dwayne, the same thing. You know, passed this last year, but one of the last times I talked to him, he talked about this group, and it's more so about the coaches and the kids that are here, that they be supported, not challenged, and loved by this community. Certainly are by this group. This group gets it. But they do important work in our community for sure. And you know, so I think of my dad with these little boys that I coached. And my dad never got to see him play sports. And it wouldn't have been a big deal to him probably what they did, because he just loved them no matter what. And he followed me and my brothers, and he didn't really care if we were a starter or a superstar or any of that. He'd have been proud of them that way. But my dad never got to see him play.